Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, please hit the subscribe button, get that bell notification on so you don't miss out on the next episode of City Skylines, and make sure to hit the like button. The like button helps with the channel a lot. I have some bad news, folks. I cannot seem to fix an issue with the city that is pretty much game-breaking. I have actually recorded pretty far into what would be the normal week's episodes, but I cannot seem to solve an issue, and I'm starting to believe, after some deep dives in forums and stuff like that, that it's a bug in the game. I don't know if it's whether it's on this custom map that I'm using. Maybe it doesn't like some of the assets I've added or some of the mods, but I can't fix the game. And what can't I fix? Well, the industrial part of the city refuses to communicate with the commercial part of the city. Now, I've backed up the game to after the episode where we built the concert hall, and I've let the game run, sim it, and pretty much every time when we hit a certain date period of time in the game, this issue arises where the city just the city just refuses to continue to communicate with each other. So I have also, beyond my normal attempts at trying to fix a city off of what the channels you normally go through, I have gone out of my way in some other attempts to ensure that I've built cargo rail ports right in the downtown core to see if the issue would fix itself. I've done everything I possibly can to encourage communication between commercial and industrial, and I've let it run for an entire day while I was working, and nothing seems to work. So I have decided to put a temporary pause on this city. Hopefully, if I can fix it in the future, we'll come back to it, to Rivière-des-Montagnes, the Quebec themed city of our journey across Canada. But I can't spend more time on this if I want the channel to continue to meet its episodes every weekday schedule. So this week's going to be pretty different. This episode, we're going to kind of go throughout the city and look at everything we've done. And then the next 4 episodes, so Tuesday through Friday this week, and the week is June 7th, the week of June 7th. We're gonna go through all the disasters in the city, and we're going to save the game first. Don't worry, I have multiple backups of the city, and we're gonna go through a couple disasters every day, and we're gonna see what happens in multiple different locations. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be like I don't really see many YouTubers do disasters in their city, so I think it's gonna be a fun change of pace. And then the week after, so I guess it'll be June 14th, we're gonna start a new series. I've been working on a map partially every now and then for the next series, which is planned not to go forward until July at least. And it's going to be an Ontario themed city, so set on Lake Ontario. So I managed to spend a couple hours doing some things throughout the last couple days on the map, and it's almost there. But I still need some time to fix it up and get it to a quality where I want to show you and build a city on it. So it's going to take me some time, so that's why I just can't start that series this week, which is why we're doing the disasters as a bit of an interval. But I hope you understand. It's actually pretty funny how we hit 50 episodes, and then and then the city collapse began. But I really appreciate all your support on the channel. The channel's grown threefold since this series began, and I love engaging with you guys in the comments. It's so much fun, and I really didn't want to spoil what was happening or concern you all with what was happening in the comments. So thank you so much for all your suggestions about names for the concert area. I love them all. Maple themes, that's pretty fun. Maple themed names. I saw one which was Amphitheatre des Montagnes, or l'Amphithéâtre des Montagnes, si on parle français. Mais je pense pas que tout le monde parle français. So I don't speak French in this episode. But anyway, so I'm starting this area off at my favorite part of the city, which was the old part of the city, because this was a really beautiful asset that I found on the workshop. Let's hop out. Now just ignore everything going on because I didn't want to back the city up for you all. So this is right after I saved on episode 50. But the Church of Saint Ludmila is a beautiful asset in the workshop. It's a church from Prague, apparently. Yeah, it is just a stunning church. I guess I can just leave this on so we can hide all the nonsense. But yeah, this was my favorite part of the city to build. We built European themes around it, but we also got the modern city center on the other side. And I felt a lot of this felt like Montreal. I've been to Montreal a couple times, and it's a beautiful city. If you get the chance to visit, highly encourage it. World-class city. And I say that coming from a person who grew up in Toronto, so take that as you will. But this area turned out fantastically, but I'm realizing now that I didn't actually show you what the actual issue was. So you see how there's these not enough goods to sell. Well, normally that's an issue between the industrial part of the city and the commercial part of the city, just not having enough go-in-betweens. Maybe there's a traffic backup or anything like that. Not enough cargo support in the system to import goods. Well, we also have a problem over here in the industrial part of the city where there's not enough buyers for products. So those two issues usually are exclusive to each other. So the issue is potentially when both of these occur is that there's not enough ways for industrial goods to get to the downtown core of the city. So one of the things I tried to fix was removing this so that buses weren't coming down here, and it didn't fix it. I actually added one of the new assets in one of my attempts to play, which I ended up liking more. So why don't I just show you what that looked like? I'm not actually going to fix the city up too much because I don't want to build in a city that's not going to really even need it. But this is what the idea was, and I really liked it. I was really excited about it. So I'm sad that we never got to actually use this asset in the city because it was a very functional part. But it was this asset here. Let me just fix it. I'm just going to grab this and we're going to stretch it out. And hopefully that should allow us to place it. Nope. I guess I'll need to remove that. And then we'll just need to level it out. But yeah, I'm not actually going to reconnect this either, but I just wanted to show you what this could have been. Just an outstanding asset from the new Bridges DLC. Or it's not Bridges, train stations DLC. It worked absolutely perfectly here. And this way we didn't have the intercity buses clogging up this section. But yeah, so they're just, for some reason, as you see, there's no traffic in here. And we even encouraged it with this roundabout. And this half roundabout that works really, really well. I even made this a roundabout in one of my attempts, and I made this a roundabout. And I even brought a cargo rail in from over here right into the downtown core. And it just refused to communicate to each other. So that's what led me to believe there's a glitch somewhere. And it always happened when I got close to this year. So I wonder if that was an issue. It is an older custom map from the workshop. So maybe there's an issue there. But needless to say, if you think you know of an issue that can solve this, please let me know in the comments. But we're going to put a pause on this series. I don't want to throw it out because I absolutely loved working on this city. It made me really sad when I kind of realized that the week was going on and I had to start thinking about, well, I really need to get episodes out to maintain our schedule and stay in the good graces of the YouTube algorithm. So that's what made me decide that the best course of action is to pause this series until I figure it out. Kind of do some fun disasters in the city. I mean, fun for our viewing ship, not fun for the citizens of Rivière-des-Montagnes, I guess. And then start a new series on a custom map that I'm trying to use only vanilla assets on, built through the game, so there's less chance of an issue popping up. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do this for now, but it is just a pause in the series. I just want to confirm that. Hopefully we can come back to it. It is also an extremely busy time in my life, so I just can't dedicate as much time as I wish I could to this, to trying to fix this. But I have spent quite a long time doing this in some long nights after work and whatnot, letting the game run itself out. Anyways, I've said all I can about it. I'm really sorry, but the new map looks fantastic, and I'm very excited to show you. I'm extremely excited to build on it too. The new train assets are going to come into great play and everything like that. So, anyways, so let's do a bit of a tour of the city, and then next episode we'll do some disasters. I'm hoping to do at least 2, maybe 3 per episode. So looking for them. They're pretty fun. We actually don't have any disaster protection in the city either, so things are gonna get nasty. All right, so this was the downtown of the city. Let's turn this back on. Stunning landscape. This was the lower level of the map. It was pretty flat. We barely had to do any landscaping. So the idea was that this was the old town, and then the new town is kind of built up around it. So that's why we see some high buildings over here. We also have a gentrified area over here, and you know, some great looking buildings and condos down by the river, close to our entertainment district. So that's kind of that was kind of the idea of the area. We even have a pool downtown. That's pretty funny. But I think the crown jewel of the city was this right here. So we had the old church, which had a beautiful view right down to the river, which we maintained. It cuts through a park. A lot of this reminded me of old Montreal and old Quebec City, so that was kind of the ideas we were going for, especially with these sharp inclines of hills and everything like that. It was a lot of fun to build. It was a lot of lots of challenges in this city, especially when it came to the university, which I think ideally was the crown jewel of the city. We were trying to build it up slowly, so we could kind of get some buildings up here and then create a nature reserve in the mountain, kind of like Montreal in Montreal, with McGill University at its base. But unfortunately, we kind of ran into space sooner than we thought, and obviously we didn't have the time to get that tile where we could do that. But building a university downtown is something that I think I'm going to try to do more often. I think these buildings really add a lot to a city, and I think it really allows the city to grow up around it, and thematically as well. If you think of big universities in your communities, they're often not on their own campuses. Sometimes in the USA, they're their own town almost. But in Canada specifically, you look at the big universities, McGill, U of T, University of Ottawa, UBC. For some reason, the universities in Alberta and Saskatchewan are blanking me right now. I guess the University of Alberta, there you go. There are McMaster University in Hamilton. They're all like right integrated into the cities. So that's what the idea was here. Especially this law building looks absolutely stunning. Plus that view right down behind the church too. Gorgeous. We also managed to get the old street market in here too, which was a really cool asset. The thing about this game is there's lots of European assets, which if you're used to building North American cities, you never get to use. But that was the idea of building a Quebec themed city, is that we could get some of these European assets and they wouldn't be out of place. Because like this looks like Europe, but if you've been to Quebec, it also looks a lot like Quebec, especially with this winter map. The city, it just turned out gorgeous. The downtown was stunning. We were just getting to the end of the downtown when we had to stop as well. We built the city hospital campus recently, which is pretty cool. Having it on its own little area is very realistic instead of just plopping it downtown. And not that hard to do either. We got a basketball stadium in here, which kind of doubles as a hockey rink, I guess, for our sake of things. And we built a shopping district recently as well, which is really cool. I think this looks like a fun area to go to, especially if this area was all built up more. It would be a fun day trip. Get some fish and go to the Christmas market. But yeah, it's disappointing that we actually never got to finish this area. But we also built this recently. Very fun asset to use, the Concerts DLC. And using a toll booth as like a car gate check is also a fun aspect to use. I think I have a really good plan for the Concerts DLC in the next city. And if you live in Ontario and you've been to a certain festival that happens, I think you'll know where I'm going with it. So I hope that works. And we also got this train yard. This was as soon as we got the trains DLC, which I didn't know was happening until it was released. So it was a bit of a surprise, but we had just built this section, and then we just replaced them with the new assets. And I think it turned out fantastically. Intercity trains coming in. We only have one train connection to a separate town, but we also connects to, it doesn't actually connect, but theoretically it does, to the subway system. So very easy for citizens from the rest of the world to come into Rivière-des-Montagnes. And then we also got to use our new keys as well from the content pack. But we managed to get a nice park all the way along the river as well, which we never actually really got to finish up these neighborhoods, which is disappointing. But looking over here, we got our city's hockey rink. Perhaps it was the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League team that played here. We also managed to get a lot of cool church assets in the city, which was a lot of fun to find in the workshop. We also managed to get some cool schoolyards in and use the Snowfall DLC park assets, which I'm going to try to get into our new cities, because even though you can't play ice hockey in the summer, in a lot of Canadian cities, these are permanent establishments, and in the summer, they're road hockey. A lot of fun. But yeah, I think this turned out pretty nicely, this little neighborhood. And again, sad we never got to really finish it up against the mountain and stuff like that. But this is where we started the city. Bit of a confusing layout of streets, which I think was the idea, and they turned into the main avenues of the road. Of the city as well. Proving the walkability of the city, that was a good episode. We managed to really encourage citizens to use this area, and this was back in the day when we only really had a neighborhood up here and then down here, so that was really fun to do. And we also got our subway system going through here as well, connecting into Plateau, which was a great neighborhood. I think it developed exactly the way I was hoping it would. Small downtown core, lots of residential. It's downtown school and everything like that as well. And the residents of this town would work in the factories and the industrial centers of the city. So we got some factories in here as well. We also got a bit of a mining industry as well. And with our mining industry, we separated it into two groups: production and extraction. And I think it worked out really well. I love doing that with the Industries DLC, separating the production and extraction, because I think it really spreads out the look of the city, especially if you're planning a more industrial city like this city was supposed to be in its prime. But again, perhaps one day we can actually finish it. Since we're out here, we started building some small towns along the edge of the city, edge of the map. So this was the town of Saint-Jean. Just a pretty low density neighborhood, just a small town. And the town had a spa. Bit of a getaway. And I think it looked really nice. Imagine coming here for a short day trip. Be a lot of fun. Relaxing after working in the hustle and bustle of Rivière-des-Montagnes. And we managed to get some nice connections into this highway system. And one thing about the city is that this map is it really had a lot of national roads everywhere. It only really has one major highway in it, which was a lot of fun, which was the idea of, which is what made me love this map so much. This was our forestry industry. Not so much separation of production and extraction, but here was the extraction and here was the production, much closer together than the other one. But disappointing, because we had this train hook up here, and there really wasn't any train lines on this side, but trust me, I wish I could show you what the other city looked like. I guess I could, but I managed to get train lines right into here, all the way around into the downtown, just by not following realism and taking a train line and just blowing it through the hill, steep inclines and everything like that. And I left it running all day, and nothing ever changed in the city. We also started getting farming communities out this way, which is really fun to do. Little unique family farms. They were all in the same industry area, but doing farms like this I think is a bit more realistic. And then we also managed to get some small rural housing streets in these neighborhoods as well, which turned out really, really nice. I mean, these buildings aren't really realistic for that type of house, but this one is. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty nicely. And if we follow along, we also have some more, a couple corner stores. And the same kind of vibe went down into here, and this was more of the downtown of this small farming town. So it has the school, it has the church. I'm sure the fire department is somewhere around here too. I think the fire department's up here. But we managed to get some housing in here, some industry as well. And it looked like a really great town. Really small town vibe, and that's exactly what you go for. Just at the main intersection of the main roads. A couple commercial buildings, a couple industrial buildings. Looks very realistic, but this was the main area of the farm and turned out pretty nicely. And we also had a separate dairy production area as well, right here. And it turned out pretty nicely. It started working really well, obviously, until the crash happened. But we did also leave one aspect to this whole area into a different area altogether. We left the slaughterhouse all the way over here, which was a bit of we didn't have to do that, but it was interesting to separate it entirely from the farming area, and we'll go over that when we get there. This was our small farming town. I really wanted to get a lot of housing along the waterfront. That's very realistic in this theme of city. Probably it should have been a bit more separated, but I think it turned out pretty nicely. Probably wouldn't be this much fishing activity, but definitely there'll be these docks along here, and that's the idea that we were going for. But again, small town vibes, just a couple intersections intersections of the city, a small community church. This is a great asset. It acts as a crematorium, and a cemetery. And then we get back over to our industrial area. We got this walking bridge that was suggested. So yeah, if you're watching the next series, which please do, it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot more traditional, I guess, build. Bigger city. We're gonna build a city probably larger than this one. Sorry, the new city, which I haven't named yet, but it's an Ontario themed city set on Lake Ontario. A lot of fun. And we're back into the industrial core of the city, which I know that some of the comments about the issues that we're having are, well, the industrial is just too far away. But we do have a lot of industry over here. And then also in my tests, I built up a huge industry area over here. I also built an oil industry area in the videos, in the unreleased videos, over this way to try to encourage industry areas. I've also, sorry, I forget which area it was, but I think I removed this whole area and made it all industry and left it running all day again, and nothing happened. So nothing changed. So that's what led me to conclude that it was a glitch in the map, or in the game. But we also have these condos along the waterfront, which turned out stunning. And I got a lot of comments about how beautiful this view would be. And yeah, just imagine having this condo right in here, and just sitting on your balcony looking at this view all the time. Gorgeous. But then I think we're coming into our last spot, which is probably my favorite small town I've ever built. And I think it's basically because of the theme that we had. So before we get there, this was our garbage production facility. This was the town of Saint-Ambroise, which is a Quebec beer, the name of a Quebec beer. But this is a mill town that we kind of, which has kind of grown up over time. So what we did is, from the farming industry, we made this area the flour production. And we have a cargo line over here. So the idea was that, let's just go with this view. Crops would be imported from this station all the way over here, through here. And again, in my tests, I also put a cargo station right outside of everything, and I drew a line right in. Obviously unrealistic to what rails are supposed to be, but I was just testing it out because the game will throw the trains up hills if you want them to go that way. And we were still having issues. So again, very unfortunate. But I think this town is a very realistic town to build. We got the industrial quarter, which wasn't really that industrial. Lots of residential. It's a bit of a fringe city because the city's off in the distance. Some commercial buildings. It's got a couple main streets. We got this beautiful church here, which is a great asset on the workshop. Which, let's find out what it's called. Dover Church / crematorium. Oops. Yeah, just absolutely stunning church. And then we also capped off this city, or this town, with a couple cool assets. One from the new Trains DLC, which we see a train popping in here. And this brought citizens right in from Saint-Ambroise, right downtown. So that was a nice commuter rail. And the idea was that this train station would just be a stop on a line that would come out this way and come out this way into another town that we'd build up over here. The idea was to get a port out this way. I also did try getting a port in here in my tests to see if that would help, and it didn't. I blew open this frontage, or this area here, and I managed to squeeze a port in somehow, and yeah, it still didn't work. So trust me, I did try everything. Very, very unfortunate, but yeah, this was a beautiful town. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I was planning on this week actually building like a winter sporting area out this way, which is gonna be a lot of fun. We also started building a bunch of these interchanges everywhere, which is also interesting to build. That was a great episode. Really encourages traffic movement and realistic interchanges you see in the rural areas of cities. Advanced or slip lines for the right-hand turns. Often you will see a right-hand slip line as well. But yeah, a bit unfortunate. We got them everywhere pretty much. One over here as well, a bit bigger. Over here as well. But yeah, I guess that's a good overview of what we've done in this city. So after 50 episodes, that's what we did. Hopefully there's going to be 50 more. But again, I just couldn't have the time to put into trying to fix it. I did put a ton of time into it, but I ran out of time. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And the next city is gonna be just as fun to watch. It's not gonna be a snowfall DLC map. It's gonna be in the summer, I guess, themed. So a bit more traditional. And I'm very excited to get going on it. Lots of flat land to build on. There's also not lots of flat land. I'm hoping to use the 81 tiles mod on it. I think I'll be able to get that to work. And it's kind of a mix of waterfront development, industrial areas, trains, and cottage country. So that's the idea. We'll see if it turns out the way we get it. But I think this is a good sized city that we built. We kind of see where we're supposed to end, right? We're supposed to taper off over here. Get another town over this way. An oil industry out over here would have been fantastic. And then I also wanted to build a town up and around here. But that was the goal. We'll see if we ever get there. So, without further ado, everyone, I hope you have a great day. And I'll catch you tomorrow when the city will be hit with a couple natural disasters. So have yourself a lovely evening, or day, or afternoon, or morning. And I will catch you tomorrow where the city is going to go through some changes. Have a great day and peace out. Thank you for watching too. Appreciate all the support.